Hey everybody, welcome back. Just wanted to finally do a video on this generator enclosure that I built, and I'm sure you've seen a few other videos. A lot of them are very similar. It's just a great plan. Thanks to all the other people that inspired on the builds of these, and I just made a few modifications based on the materials that I could get a hold of. All right, so this is the Firman T07571. Got it from Costco. It's a tri-fuel. Wanted that, so I have plenty of options, fuel sources. Basically, this shed is a Craftsman brand. I think I got it from Home Depot or Lowe's, but I'll have to put the link down in the description on what the model number is and everything. So basically I did all the measurements before I bought the shed so that it would fit this generator. And it's really tight, as you can see. We don't have much room between the door and the wheel. And then this door, I actually had to cut out, this insulation over here on this side, I had to cut out to get the generator away from this insulation on this side. One of the things that I had trouble with was finding the rock wool, and due to, I guess, COVID or whatever, there's a backlog on demand for this stuff. A lot of materials are in demand and backlogged and back ordered. So I managed to find this on Amazon from a seller, and last I checked they were still in stock, so I'll leave a link down in the description for you. This is the critical part of it for sound insulation. You don't want the thick, fluffy type of insulation because it takes up too much space and it's fragile. So once again, I'll put the link down in the description. Also, the kill mat sound barriers deadening, that's on Amazon as well. Got the fan off Amazon, and I believe the shroud was from Home Depot or Lowe's, and then this little adapter for the Firman generator, I think I got that one on eBay, and I'll put a link in the description if I can find it. So as far as planning goes, two of the hardest parts of this project were building these exterior sound deadening boxes, and there's a couple other videos on YouTube that guys have built these, and it's just a variation of that basically. Also, the sound deadening on the exhaust, I didn't like what I saw online as far as exhaust goes. Most of them were glass pack style and they were too loud. This actually came from LiQWYD, or one of those wrecking yards where I found a Toyota Camry and it just happened to be the right size, and I literally just took an adapter, piece of flexible pipe, it's just exhaust pipe, and mounted it with this coupler here. I think that's from Amazon as well. But anyway, I just went to LiQWYD auto wrecking yard and cut this off of a Camry, and it's big, but it's really quiet. And you can also remove it here, which I like. So if I have to make this thing smaller for whatever reason, get this out of the way, I can just unbolt it. Probably if my wife has company over here, for whatever reason, I can make it clean up a little bit. These little outlet boxes, you can get those anywhere. Just make sure you caulk everything. And then one thing I did wrong on the design on these boxes were I didn't slope it. So this thing's coated in about 6 coats of spray paint, and then I finally had to go with a rubberized paint. But in the photos, you might have noticed I had some of this roofing up here kind of taped up there, kind of hokey, just to make it run off. I'm gonna make a mount, probably out of wood or metal, and permanently attach it. But that's something to consider when you build yours. Make sure if you build these boxes, you put some slope on it and seal it up real well. This is exterior grade plywood. It's the heavy duty coated stuff, so it won't rot, but it's still gonna get wet. On the inside, These are permanently sealed now, so I can't really show you, but I'll try and dig up some photos that I have from when I was building it and put it in the video. So when I did the test runs, I closed this up and I have this remote temperature monitor, so I ran it for an hour with the fan on. And the cool thing about this fan is it runs off of the generator itself, so when you fire the generator up, the fan automatically runs. This shroud is just to protect, it's a heat shroud to protect the plastic from this hot, and then I also have some exhaust wrap on here. I'll try to remember to find all the links to that stuff. For the intake, I just have a Lowe's or Home Depot, it's like a 14-inch intake grill that you'd use for HVAC or something like that. I also use some spray and foam insulation in these cracks. And as far as securing the rock wool insulation, I think this stuff's called Pro Rocks or something like that, but it's secured with just washers and some exterior screws. The kill mat sticks really well, by the way. It's difficult cutting this stuff exact, but you get through it, it just takes time. So to keep this starter battery topped off, I have a little solar panel sitting over here that just kind of keeps it topped off. It's trickle charge. And here's the intake silencing box. These really made a huge difference, cutting down on the air noise and the vibration coming out of the intake and the exhaust, because without that, I'd say there was probably a 20% louder sound on the exterior. Now I do, for cable runs, when you're running cable in or out, I've got a port here, just a slide up wastegate port. And then of course the small one here that's closer to the house, I can run the cable through it. Now I don't know if you've got one of these generators from Costco, the tri-fuel, it's a little bit finicky trying to get it started, but sometimes it doesn't want to keep running right away, and I believe that's because it's got that manual choke on it. I can kind of see it over here, and it's pretty touchy as far as staying running and getting it to keep running right off the bat, but once it gets going, it's great. Okay, so I tried to start it once, it fired up and it shut right back down even though the choke is in start mode. You'll see this flashing here. So what I do is I recycle it to off and then back to on again, and then we try it again. Now it smells like it's flooded, so I'm guessing that this choke doesn't need to be on all the way. So psych it back off. I got the choke off just a little bit. It's kind of warm out today, about 55. Try it again. Okay, so that is with the choke at about half. So I think that's the secret to starting this thing up when it's not super cold out. Now we're going to turn on the fan. On, and that runs your fan. Okay, so let's compare the noise level from here with everything open. And this is with everything closed up. Huge difference. This exhaust, massive difference. You have that straight piped or glass packed, and it's going to be twice that loud. Also, these boxes, here, I'll put the phone in there. And also the intake, there's a lot of metal rattling noise that comes through this intake here, so if we go under there, you can kind of hear it. Alright, so now we'll open it back up. On here, bolts right on, it's all welded up, and I've got a clamp down there that I'm going to put the flex pipe on. This is just an open pipe extension for probably like a natural gas water heater or something like that furnace. I'll put the links to everything in the description. And then we've got this flex pipe that I've already wrapped. I'll have a link to it in the description as well. I've wrapped it in the exhaust wrap that I got this on Amazon as well. But anyway, wrap it up. That way it loses less heat on the interior and also keeps this part from getting too hot. You know, because there is plastic here, but I have tested this without the wrap and it was fine. It didn't melt or anything. But all these parts will be in the description with links. Anyway, so you slide this in. And have your bracket like so. Slide it over the adapter there. And then you just tighten your bracket down. I'm not going to bother with that right now, but you can see the heat wrap keeps some of the heat in so that it's ported to the exterior. And I will add more wrap here so that it keeps the heat away from the shroud there. And then this part that we ground here, you can see we've got it rounded off there with the grinder. Slips right on here. Like so. I got these on Amazon as well. And then this exhaust pipe is off of a Toyota Camry. I got it at Pick and Pull for 14 bucks. And what I liked about it was it comes up and almost meets exactly with the outlet there on the exhaust. And then the turn on the exhaust points out away from the structure or wherever you have your shed. So this is a pretty good setup for $14. You don't have to build your own exhaust system, you know, with the garbage can and all that. That works, but I tried this with a glass pack and it was pretty quiet. So this should be even quieter than the glass pack. But you can also just tilt it like so. And then slide this adapter over that, slide this adapter. It's hard to do with one hand. I'll go ahead and pause it. Well, I got pretty much through making the video, and then I found these that were going to go to the dump, so I just cut them down, and then the roofing here that had scraps left over from building my planter boxes is just going to sit on top of that, and then I'll secure them, and that will shield these boxes from the rain. And I'll probably clean this up, get rid of that tape. It was just a temporary thing to keep stuff from getting rotten, but just secure it all up. Okay, one other thing I want to comment on, I'm going to warn you that these cables are super expensive, especially if you're doing long runs. I've got mine set up to where I can move this whole box all the way over around the corner of the house with these cables and still come back to the inlet here on the house. I've also got some propane hose here. Actually, it's natural gas, because I have a natural gas barbecue outlet on the back porch that I can run 25 feet out to the generator and still hit this corner of the house. So in a pinch, you're going to be able to run everything. And then also the generator came with this propane attachment for bottles as well. Anyway, that's about it. I'll see if I can find some previous build photos for those boxes, and I'll put every link that I can come up with down in the description for you. Hope this gives you some ideas. There's tons of videos out here just like this one. Look at them all, see what works for you. This one worked best for the Costco Firman 7571, and that was my goal. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and follow all of our other cool videos.